Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's welcome to the Wednesday episode. This is episode number 951. That's right, 951. Thor breaks world record. Are you looking for inspiration? I don't know if you're looking for inspiration or not, but we're going to give you some. We've got a Brownell's bullet points for you guys today. We're going to talk about crisis proofing. That's right, crisis proofing your firearms training. And in addition to that, we're going to have a student of the gun homeroom and give you reason number 108 why you should be dangerous on demand.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Yes. This story is a few days old, but I thought it was cool. And it's inspirational. It's motivational. And if you guys are looking for some motivation, some inspiration, you're thinking, I don't feel like it. I don't want to do it today. Do you think Thor does that? You think Thor makes excuses? Just that. What would Thor do?
WWTD.
Yeah, that's right. What would Thor do? Would Thor make excuses? Hafthor. Yes, Hafthor Bjornsson. The mountain.
This dude is huge.
Mountain. He's so
like I've stood in one that's like a 10-foot tall. No, that might be 12-foot. I've stood in front of one of those like little backdrop things. Yeah. And that dude is huge.
He's so big. Zach or Jared, did you see about a couple months ago, Scott Hambrick was putting up all those little maymays, pictures of Thor and his girlfriend. Have you ever seen like pictures of Thor and his girlfriend?
Yeah.
Because his girlfriend's like 5'3" or something like that, right?
Yep.
And then he put like the train going into the tunnel, and he's so wrong.
Yeah.
Hambrick, you're so wrong. But yet, what's so right is that now Thor just broke his own record, right? The previous record was held by him, I believe.
No,
so
I think he set a different record.
Well, I remember watching him pull a world record deadlift.
Yeah, was it?
In front of a big audience. It was a different clip because I remember he walked up and he broke the ammonia capsule and rapped and went and he picked it up. So you want to hear what it's like when Thor breaks the world record deadlift? Because yes. Zach's going to let you hear it.
I would love
that. This is what it sounds like.
Yes, this is what it sounds like. It's going to sound just like this.
Here we go. Come on, Thor. Come on, Thor. Safe place. Safe place. Everything into this now. 501 kilos. Can you be the first man to lift it? Let's go, Thor. Come on. Let's go.
That dude could have done more. That dude could have done more. That went up so fast.
I know that went up so fast.
Did you watch the skin peel off of his shins?
I believe I could have done more, but what's the point? That's kind of true. It's like I just broke my own record.
Well, the point is, what you want to do is you want to raise the bar so high that no one can ever beat it.
Well, here's the thing: it's kind of like you raise he can come back in 6 months and break his own record again.
1,104.52 pounds. That is insane.
I could do that.
501 kilos.
Joe, what did you say?
1,104.52 pounds.
Yeah, on March 3rd, 2018, Hep4 broke the elephant bar deadlift record with his successful lift of 472 kilograms, 1,041 pounds. So just over 2 years later, he broke it again.
Yes.
This story says he broke the previous record by 1 kilogram. The record dated back to 2016.
Isn't there some kind of like Guinness thing where it's like it has to be by a certain percentage? Like you can't count the most toothpicks ever by 2.
Yeah, I don't know.
It has to be like by 3% or something.
No. When it comes to world records, I think they basically just go like by the square pound or by the even pound or whatever.
Or is
I
it
guess
not a
it's
record?
it's also probably not a Guinness record. It's probably someone else's record.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys got the story open. Both of you have the story open. This is what I find funny: how ESPN has embraced. They've embraced the suck. They've embraced they hashtagged it the Ocho.
What?
Did you see that?
Hashtagged it the Ocho?
The Ocho.
Oh, the Twitter post.
Yeah. They hashtagged it ESPN in ESPN 8, the Ocho. You remember that? That's from Dodgeball.
Yeah.
That's the spoof. So they're embracing the Dodgeball spoof. They're acknowledging and embracing it. I think that's hilarious.
That's good. That's what they should do.
So yes, the Mountain. You know him as Gregor Clegane, first as the Mountain, then as Zombie Gregor. And if you haven't seen it yet, yeah, that's too bad. You're not going to. Don't talk to me about spoilers. Like if you haven't seen it yet, you're not going to see it. Now, Zach, I don't quite get this last paragraph though. You can help me with it.
All right, I will open it up and look.
It says his Game of Thrones character died and was resurrected as a tough named Robert Strong.
They renamed him?
Yeah, here's the thing: is he died in the last episode.
And before that,
last episode of the series.
Correct. And before that,
what
you realize that the whole reason that guy was bad and the whole reason he was kicked out was for learning about necromancy, right?
Right.
And he was resurrected from the poison. And
so what they're
he
saying
was
is
literally
that
a zombie.
Zombie Gregor's actual name was Robert Strong.
I guess they never said it though.
Yeah, that's the thing is
I didn't read book 5. So
all right, here's the thing: they referred to him in the show as Sir Gregor.
Yes,
and when Cersei called him, she called him Sir Gregor.
Yes, and again, I didn't read book 4 or 5, so that might be one of those things where they change it. It's like, George R. R. Martin's like, oh, he's a new man now. He's referred to as Robert Strong because he's big and strong. But then the show they went, yeah, he's still just Clegane.
In the show they went, that was stupid, and we're not going to do that.
And then they proceeded to do stupider crap than like George R. R. Martin could have ever dreamed.
It's like that makes bad TV, so we're going to leave that in the book.
That was dumb. So they're like, we're just going to. So if you guys were looking for inspiration, if you're looking for motivation, you're like, and I know that you and I and we are never going to break Thor's deadlift record. There are probably 20 people living on planet Earth right now that have the actual physical potential to break that record. I get that. I understand that. Doesn't matter. When I see things like this, I think, it kind of makes deadlifting 300 pounds seem like not that big of a deal. Like I'm crying. I'm over here thinking, oh, I have to go. In my mind, I'm like, I wanted to sit on the couch. I don't want to go out in the gym, and because if I have to do that, I'll have to deadlift 300 pounds or whatever. And then you say, Thor just deadlifted 1,100 pounds. I think you can get out there and do 3. Stop crying.
To be fair, he's being paid to do that.
Well, yeah, when you do something very well, you don't do it for free.
That's what the Joker said.
Yeah, that's right. When you do something well, you don't do it for free.
Good at something, never do it for free.
You don't do it for free. That's what his dad taught him. His dad, who supposedly was a fiend and cut his face up.
Yes.
But that was just one of many stories that he told. He never finished the third story.
Many stories.
Many stories. All right, you guys want to jump into the Brownells bullet points?
I do.
All right. Well, heck, let's do it. Zach says do it. Yes, indeed. We just jumped right on in there to the Brownells bullet points. Crisis proofing your firearms training. And how do we do that? We do that with shotguns. That's right. You're accessorizing your favorite fowling piece. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, you need to broaden your vocabulary. Broaden your vocabulary. And Brownells, what do they have for shotguns? And you go there, you say, well, number one, I went and I was actually kind of surprised. They have their firearms section. And so I went to firearms section and I chose shotguns. And like basically the first 10 pages were out of stock. Everything. Mossberg pumps, Remington pumps, these the Tavor, the 1,400. That's crazy. People are spending $1,471 for a semi-auto shotgun. Yes, they apparently are because they're out of stock.
That's almost as many pounds as Thor lifted.
Yeah, that's cray. And you say, well, all right, they're out of shotguns. Number one, if you don't have a shotgun by now, I don't even know why we're talking. I don't even know why we're talking if you don't have a shotgun by now. But let's talk about shotgun accessories. Now might be the good time. You know, if you're out there in the world and you're like, hey, Paul, all the amateurs bought up all the 9mm, and when I go to my favorite place, they only allow me to buy one box at a time or whatever. And this is when I say, I'm sorry for your loss, and that's terrible for you. But you should be able to get shotgun shells. I would find it hard to believe that you can't get shotgun shells. You're like, oh, I can get shotgun shells all day long. Okay, great. If you can get shotgun shells all day long, go out to your, crack open your gun safe, and that scattergun, that fowling piece that you kind of been ignoring because you've been poo-pooing over your AR, you've been poo-pooing over your pistol caliber carbine, you've been poo-pooing over your AK, and you've kind of left your shotgun. Your shotgun's kind of sad.
Shotguns are fun.
Yeah, he's sitting over there. Your shotgun's sitting over there in the corner, and he's like, "Hey, man, what about me? I'm still good. Did you forget about me over here?" And you're like, "No, shotgun, I didn't forget about you." And well, what you could do is you can pop over to brownells.com and you can get yourself a new M-Lock Remington or Magpul stock set. You can get that for your $590, or you can get it for your $870. You can get, if you've got a Shockwave and you have not yet converted it to a extremely useful gun by putting an SB tactical brace on it, well, this is the time for you to do that.
Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it. You can do it. There's a lot of good stuff out there right now. You might want to change out the sights. If your scattergun, if your fowling piece has a pick rail on it or is tapped for a pick rail, you might want to go ahead and get a pick rail on it, put a mini red dot on that sucker. There's lots of things that you can do with your fowling piece, with your scattergun, to improve its shootability and make it a little bit more fun to shoot, and also just get out there and do some good stuff. Now, I'm going to caution you with these straight M4 stocks. What happens when you put an M4 stock on a shotgun is you actually lower the stock, the plane. And normal shotgun stocks kind of go down and then come up. So when you put them up on your cheek, and what I've noticed for years and years is when people do these M4 conversions, is that often the shotguns will shoot high. They will point high and they will impact high. And if that is a concern of yours, what you need to do is you need to learn or teach yourself. Well, number one, if you've got a Picatinny rail on your receiver, then it doesn't matter because you're just going to adjust the red dot to the point of aim and you're good, which is the nice thing about the red dot. You just adjust it to the point of aim call it good, and move on with your life. If you only have a bead out front, you don't have any kind of other, and it's a non-adjustable bead, then learn to aim at 6 o'clock. That's what I did with with my Shockwave. I just put the bead at the bottom of the target that I want to shoot, and I pepper it. When I'm shooting the prairie rats and jackrabbits and stuff like that, I just put the bead at the bottom of them, press that trigger, and it covers them with shot.
There they go.
And it's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So yeah, it works really well. They've got all kinds of accessories. And the reason that we're talking about this right now is because I know some of you guys are out there and you're like, well, I can find 5.56 and I can find 9 and stuff, but I don't want to shoot it up because I might need it in the future. I might need it in the future. I don't want to shoot it up. Well, now is not the time to not shoot. Don't just sit on your guns. It's nice outside. The sun is shining. Get your rump out there and start shooting. And I guarantee you, if you'll go to wherever it is, your big box outlet or the local hardware store or whatever, you're going to find shotgun shells. Even if you can't find 9 or 5.56 or 45 or whatever, you can find 12 gauge birdshot. So you've got no excuse. And like I said, I'm betting that the vast majority of my audience out there has a fouling piece that's kind of been laying in the back of the safe, and you haven't used it in a while because it's not as fun or Gucci or cool as your tricked out AR is. Show your fouling piece some love, man.
Don't be foul to your fouling piece.
That's right. Yeah, show it some love. It's back there. It's good. It's a trooper. He's back there. He's like, hey, man, what about me? You don't ever take me out anymore. How about you take me out for a while? And you might actually need to put some lube on the rails or whatever because it's been sitting there for a long time. But
you remember when you took that felon extinguisher that's right behind you and you hit a perfect true pair, a perfect set on a true pair?
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 with
That's
the
right.
felon
10
extinguisher.
Yep, with this gun right above me. Boop, boop, right there. All right, that's so check those guys out at Brown if you want to. And this might be the time you say, well, I could do that. I could take my my shotgun out and I could put a new stock on it, a new fore end, a new sights or whatever. I could put a side saddle on it. I could, whatever. They've got stuff for you. Check those guys out at brownhills.com. And of course, they're always running promo codes and all that jazz. Century Arms. Don't forget about them. Don't forget about those guys. Don't you forget about me. You know what I realized the other day? Actually, I realized it because I had a Facebook memory. I had a memory from 8 years ago, and I had an AK, and it had the U.S. Palm pistol grip on it. It had a U.S. Palm magazine sticking out of it, and it had a U.S. Palm aluminum rail, an aluminium rail.
Aluminium.
And it was an aluminium rail that was designed to take an RMR optic. Now, Century has, unfortunately, U.S. Palm went bankrupt. They had to close.
But fortunately,
Century revised them. They bought them, and they brought them back. So now they're doing the mags again, and they're doing the pistol grips again. And I'm wondering if they're going to do the rails again.
It's a good question.
That's a good question. That might be a good question for them. But you know how you find out what's going on and what they're doing and what they have?
Magic? You just wait for somebody to tell you?
Wait for someone to tell you. Just sit around and wait for
Professor Paul.
Or,
I'm sorry, Professor Dr. Paul. Professor Dr. Paul. What is that? Dr. Professor. That's what they called you. Wait for Dr. Professor to let you know.
Yeah, that's right. Just wait for me to tell you. Or you go to centuryarms.com and find out what's going down. Find out what's going down. Duracoat, because life is too short
to have an ugly gun. Jinx.
Crickets.
Sorry. I had to mute the mics real quick because of outside noise.
Life's too short to have an ugly gun. If you don't want to have an ugly gun, and I don't have an ugly gun, maybe your fouling piece is kind of ugly. Maybe it's seen better days. This might be a great time for you to pop your happy butt over to Duracoat Firearms.finishes, firearmfinishes.com.
DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com.
.com, and get yourself some badass finish for that fouling piece. Strip that sucker down, get all the grease off of it, put some badass finish on it, put it back together, and boom, it's like a new gun. It's like you just gave yourself a new gun. How cool is that? Check those guys out. They're willing to help you. They've got gun tattoos, and they've got everything you need. And you're like, and I know a lot of you guys out there, you're like, Paul, I'm not a professional refinisher. I don't have an air compressor. I don't have all the stuff that I would need to refinish a gun. Yes, you do. Do you have a computer? Oh, duh. You have a mobile phone? Duh. Go to Duracoat Firearm Finishes, and they'll send you all the stuff you need to do a refinishing job in your garage or your workshop or whatever. Don't do it in your basement or your kitchen. Your wife will not like you. But do it in your garage, do it in your workshop. If it's really nice, if you live in Wyoming, you don't do it outside. That's but when I was living in Biloxi, I could actually just go outside when there was no wind and do it in the backyard. Hang the stuff up. It was nice and hot and bright and sunny. I would, do the coat hanger stuff, and I would hang it up and it would hang in the sun and dry. Amazing. Or you can hang it in the shade and dry or whatever. I don't care. Just go to Duracoat Firearm Finishes. SWAT Fuel is what? They want you to have a stronger body and a sharper mind. Now get on it. Use the promo code SOTG.
Yep.
Yes,
I recommend
indeed.
starting with build the foundation of your diet with the multivitamins. And then once you get that going and you've committed yourself to a regular routine of multivitamins on top of your nutritious food that you eat every day, then add in the 9mm plus P to give yourself a little bit of boosted energy. And if you're looking to burn fat, pick up some of the 9mm fat burner.
There you go. All right, Zach, take it away.
ShopSOTG.com is the perfect place to go if you are a student of the gun. Whether you want to expand your brain, increase your marksmanship, or help keep your family safe. All that, plus the pimp hand brands that you love. ShopSOTG.com has almost anything that an American patriot would want. Education, enlightenment, and entertainment, and we're open 24/7. Check out ShopSOTG.com today and see for yourself.
There you go. Now you know. There you go, and now you know. All right. You guys are wondering, you said, I don't know, Paul, if I should carry a gun all the time. I'm just going to carry it sometimes when I think I might need it. Is that the case?
Yes, absolutely.
If that's the case, you might want to rethink what you're doing. So we've got a student of the gun homeroom for you and you and you and you and you and you and you. Brought to you by our good friends at crossbreedholsters.com. That is Dangerous by Madison Rising. And of course, as always, the primary theme is being dangerous on demand. And how are we dangerous on demand? We get education, we get training.
Yep.
And then what do we do?
Carry a gun.
I mean, we don't lock it in the safe so that it'll be okay. And
that is an important distinction that you said there. If you're not comfortable with carrying a gun, get education and training. It's fine. You don't have to carry a gun. If you're not comfortable with it, then don't do it. That's fine. We're not going to call you stupid, but just go get education, or not but in addition to not calling you stupid, go get some education and get some training. And then when you're comfortable with carrying a gun, carry a gun. And carry it all the time, everywhere you go. And the easiest way to do that is to have a comfortable holster. I personally recommend the Reckoning holster, and that's what I use. I actually carry the Reckoning in appendix carry. I changed up the configuration a little bit, but you can wear the Reckoning. It's pretty, what do they call that? I was going to say malleable, but that's not the word I'm looking for. Boom. The modular, that's it right there. It's pretty modular, so you can actually carry it. If you're hip carry, if you're a fan of that, it's good to go. If you want to carry appendix, you're good to go. Just do not carry the small of your back because it's not a good idea.
Oh, you know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's the best way. You know what you're talking about.
Okay. I mean, do what you want. I guess if you have a gun, then whatever.
You could stick it down in your underwear and carry it next to your ball sack if you want to,
Just
but
cover the trigger.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Just cover the trigger for me, please. I don't care where you put it.
Wouldn't recommend it, but you can do whatever you want. Okay, we got so reason number 108 to be dangerous on demand. And before we do that, a lot of you folks out there are like, okay, we get it, Paul. We're going to buy a good holster, and we're going to buy it from Crossbreed because they're an American-owned, family-owned company, and they're good people, and they make good products. Use the promo code SOTG18, save money. All right, Jared, open up the story. Okay. This is something now. Remember, about 2 months ago, only 2 months ago, you and I and everyone in America, we were told that it's okay. These people that we're letting out of jail to keep them safe from the virus, they're all non-violent offenders who are just up for parole anyway, and we're just expediting the situation. This does not put you in danger. This is not going to be a bad thing. Calm down, stupid American peasants. We know what we're doing. Just let us do our job. Go hide in your house like a good little sheep. And, don't worry. All these, and this is only 2 months ago, we were told these are all nonviolent offenders, low risk of recidivism, blah, 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 blah. And if you don't know what recidivism is, you need to learn that term. I learned this term when I went to the police academy, oddly enough.
Is that when you recite every single law that you've broken?
No.
No, that's not?
Recidivism means criminals that just keep committing crimes, and they do it over and over and over and over again. Now, we used to measure recidivism by weeks or months or years. We are now down. This is where we are in America. We're measuring recidivism in minutes.
Minutes. Yep.
Minutes.
It says stolen car suspect carjacks victim 37 minutes after zero bail release from Santa Rita jail. This
but
was
why
on April
was he
20th,
out so quickly?
2019. It says a man who was arrested for car theft in Oakland and then released on court order zero bail because of the coronavirus pandemic was arrested just minutes later in Dublin for carjacking and a second attempted carjacking. What? He was arrested just minutes later in Dublin for carjacking and a second attempted carjacking. So he actually successfully carjacked one car and then tried to carjack a second.
So I'm guessing he tried to jack the car. The first car was unsuccessful. And it's like, okay, I'm going to go get another one.
Yep.
All right.
The Alameda County Sheriff's Office said that a 32-year-old man identified as Rocky Music, oh, that's an awesome name, Rocky Music, was arrested in a stolen car by Oakland police on Sunday morning and booked at Santa Rita Jail in Dublin. He was released Sunday night and this isn't Dublin, Ireland, by the way. He was released Sunday night at 7:23 p.m. on a zero bail order, which allows setting bail for $0 for non-violent felonies and misdemeanors. So it's essentially, I mean, what do you have to? What's your investment to get out of jail? If it's a $0 bail, I wonder. The bail standard has been in effect since April 13th to slow the spread of coronavirus within jail facilities. As of last week, there were at least 15 positive cases at Santa Rita Jail.
This is when you could ask me, hey, Paul, do you give one fat rodent's rectum rear end about infected people in jail? No.
Well, you should be more humane and
rodent's
compassionate.
rear end about criminals getting infected in jail. And why in the name of all that is holy are we more worried about the health and well-being of criminals and felons than we are of the people?
Here's a sentence. I think this has actually happened to all of us. It says, Music carjacked a victim in the parking lot. I think that's happened to everybody. But it was just 37 minutes after Music was released from jail. So
Okay, listen to this. It's this. I want you to read this quote. This is
You
from
could steal
Sergeant Ray Kelly.
Okay.
Said you
could steal a car every day and be released every day because car theft isn't considered violent felony. Said Kelly. That's his. That's interesting there.
So this is how your police are keeping you safe. This is how the state is keeping you safe. All right? Stupid peasants, shut up, do what you're told, right? Hide in your house, put on your stupid little mask that does nothing except show what a compliant freaking slave you are.
It actually, I've seen some things that have said that the cloth masks are worse because people, especially if you don't wash them the correct way, because they just hold bacteria. And it's just...
They do. Because medical masks are not meant to be, A, worn continuously, and B, if you've ever been in the medical profession, you get the mask, you put it on, you go treat the patient, whatever. Where does the mask go when you're done with that?
You throw it away.
In the garbage. It goes in the hazmat bin. You don't take it, hang it on, stick it on your dashboard, go do something, come back out, put it on again, take it out, put it back on again, take it back, put it on your dresser, put it back on. That's not how sterility works, morons. You're not protecting yourself from anything.
I saw a meme that said, "He who wears mask alone in car also wears condom alone in bed." I was like,
yeah. I saw that too. A guy's like, he goes, for all you people who are driving around in your cars with masks on, do you wear a condom when you're at home in bed alone?
It's funny.
Like, really? So
now what the nurses were doing, so here in Salt Lake, I know this for a fact that they issued like reusable masks to the staff. But what they would do is when they got off shift every night, they would put it in a UV light container. So the UV light would actually kill all the stuff. And so if you're reusing masks, there are ways to sterilize it, of course. But most of us don't have UV, lights just sitting around.
Or people aren't laundering them either. They're not laundering them either. They're not washing them. And did you see the John Stossel report? Dude, we need to find that. This was during my you're not allowed to share or comment or whatever punishment for hate speech. John Stossel just did an expose about the reusable bags and how these cloth bags that all these socialist douchebags forced us into using. All these counties and states that ban plastic bags and they're forcing people to use reusable bags, right? Well, they're like, well, you're supposed to launder them. And they found that 97% of the people who are using these reusable cloth, all these hippies, with their hemp bags and all that crap.
You know what I do when I go to the grocery store? Or used to do before now they don't let you bring in any kind of bag to the grocery store. I used to take an IKEA bag because I'd walk up to the grocery store, just giant IKEA bag, put all the groceries in it. I have one bag that I have to carry home. It was fantastic.
Right. So all these reusable hemp hippie cloth bags that people were supposed to be, and I know we're not talking about the whatever now, but whatever.
The whatever now.
It doesn't matter. They said that 97% of the people they interviewed and they asked, have you ever put it in a washing machine or laundered it or whatever? And they're like, no. And he said, so Stossel did this review. He said, so people are bringing bacteria from outside into the store with their stupid bags, but you're not getting any bacteria off of a little plastic bag, are you? And you guys, I want you to remember this because I've been around and paying attention for a long time. Plastic bags came into effect because the hippies tried to convince us that all the trees in the world were going to die because we were making paper bags for groceries.
Also based on feelings.
Right.
Because if anybody knows anything about the logging industry, then they actually, if their business relies upon these trees, they're going to make sure that they're still there, and they're actually required to plant like 10 trees for every tree they harvest or something like that.
It's 2 to 1, but
don't,
still.
don't quote my numbers on there, but I remember it was something like that, and it's crazy, man.
Yeah, because logging companies are all owned by evil corporatists, and they just want the world to die. We know that they make their money off of cutting down trees, but at the same time, we believe that they want to deforest the country. Anyway, but the whole point is, the reason we have plastic bags is because the hippies convinced us that paper bags were going to destroy the planet. And I remember being shamed. I remember the shame hippies. If you had a paper bag, oh, shame on you paper bag person. Use plastic, because trees were killed to make a plastic bag. And so we're all like, okay, whatever, we'll use plastic bags. Then we start using plastic bags, and the hippies are like, oh, landfills and oceans and oceans full of plastic bags, and you shouldn't do that. And we're like, but then we came up with some facts. We're like, hey, stupid hippie, Asia and Africa account for over 90% of all the pollution in our oceans. So how in Salt Lake City, if I'm in Salt Lake and you're forcing me not to use a plastic bag, how does that stop the Chinese from filling the oceans with plastic garbage?
Magic?
Well, if we said it, I like this one. This is what one stupid hippie said. Well, if we set the example for them, then they'll follow. Really? The Chinese Communist Party is looking at you in Salt Lake City. They're like, you know what? Those people at Harmon's in Salt Lake, they're not using plastic bags. And we know that we were dumping 1 million metric tons of garbage into our rivers, and that would go into the ocean. But we saw what Jimmy, the hippie, was doing in Salt Lake. We're going to follow his example, because that's exactly how the Chinese Communist Party works. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's how it works, right? The Chinese Communist Party, they're like, well, what are the people in San Francisco doing? Are they using reusable hemp bags? That's what we're going to do. We'll stop putting lead in the paint of the children's toys, and we'll stop making poisoned dog food, and we'll stop exporting viruses to other countries, because that's the right thing to do. You know what the right thing to do is? Get a gun, get training, carry that freaking gun, because what we know, based upon what is happening in our country right now, is the state, and that's who's in charge, and they have no interest, zero, none, nada, in actually protecting you from criminals. How do you think this carjacking victim feels? Is carjacking a violent enough crime to make a person have to stay in jail?
No. Wait, yes, carjacking is, but car theft is not. So if you steal a car without anybody in it, no. But if you steal a car with a person in it, then yes.
So what did this guy learn? This criminal learned that, well, I can steal a car, they'll arrest me, and then they'll walk me out the door. Like, get out of jail free card. So what I learned is, the behavior that I learned is I can do whatever I want, and there are no consequences for it. So why not jack people?
And it's $0. So my investment to get myself out of jail is nothing.
There's nothing. So why should I change my behavior? No one's going to punish me. There you go. There you go. That's what we learned. Well, we've learned that while we're throwing dog groomers and hair salon owners into jail, like actual jail, we're arresting dog groomers, we're arresting barbers and people who own hair salons. And this is not just one case. There's cases all over the United States where we're arresting people for working. But rapists, car thieves, they just get out. We'll just let them out. We got to keep them safe.
Yeah, I would say we got to keep them from getting this COVID stuff. That's
we got to keep them. We got to keep the criminals safe.
I don't want to talk about
because
that.
the criminals are more important than you. Ladies
I would
and gentlemen,
like to talk about staying dangerous on demand, and the way to do that is to carry the gun, right?
If you're not carrying, you're wrong.
It's actually, I would slightly disagree. There are exceptions. If you're not carrying, you're wrong with an asterisk, like we talked about earlier. But I would also argue that, and everybody agrees with this, that's everybody that is currently carrying a gun and listening to the show likely agrees that the real weapon is your mind and your body. Your mind and your thought process cannot be taken from you. Your body cannot be taken. Well, okay, technically, your body can be taken from you.
That's what Room 101's for.
Yeah.
To take your mind.
Yeah, to take over your mind. But you have to willingly give that up. Doesn't matter what they do. They just can't take it from you. So.
Well, that's why we're here.
Yep.
That is why we've been here for years and years and years, is to provide you with the education, inspiration, motivation, enlightenment that you need to do the right thing, to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. And if there's some crazy, strange reason that you, listening right now, have not taken the Armed Living class, we have the Armed Living DVD. It answers all these questions. What am I allowed to do? What can I do? What should I do? When am I allowed to pull my gun out? When am I allowed to point my gun at people? What should I do after I have to actually make noise and all that stuff? And Zach, he's the guy who takes care of that.
Hello. Yes, I am.
He is the store clerk. He is the shipping ogre. But the cool thing about the Armed Living DVD is it doesn't have to be shipped to you. All you have to do is sign up, make a payment, and you get it, boom, delivered directly to you electronically.
If you would like 40% off of that Armed Living DVD, send me an email.
To?
abc123@justkidding.com. No. Jared, JARRAD, at studentofthegun.com. I can get you a direct link where you don't even have to use a promo code. I'll just give you a direct link and you get 40% off the Armed Living DVD if you don't have it already. The information is very valuable. It's timeless. This stuff, it's been around for a little while, but this stuff is so timeless. Ability, opportunity, intent. What you need to do before, during, and after an altercation, whether it has a gun or not.
Yes, lots of people can teach you how to shoot. A few people teach you when to shoot, and almost nobody teaches you what now. And you need to know all three. How, when, and what now. And we cover all those in the Armed Living DVD. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that, boys, does that bring us right up to the wire?
Yes, it does.
All right.
All
right, we'll be back tomorrow. That's right, Thursday. We're going to be back on Thor's Day. I don't know if Thor's going to be deadlifting on Thor's Day.
Thor deadlifts every day.
That's right. Yeah. Every day is leg day every workout day is leg day for Thor. But remember, freaks and freakettes, if you want to come back for Thor's Day, go to getsotg.com and you can be here for Thor's Day and Friday. Freitag, you can be here for Freitag and Thor's Day. Go to getsotg.com. Follow directions, sign up, become a grad program member. You will not regret it. For the rest of you, remember, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.